And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway as we get ready for the running of the Fred Super Dollar 250 powered by Coca-Cola, race number 8 of Season 6 of the Oreo Truck Series. 19 laps await us here at this racetrack, which can hold drivers going 4, even 5 wide sometimes, and a lot of times we end up having it come right down to the line in a photo finish. In only his third start, Tyson Broad is going to be starting on the pole for the second time. He started on the pole not last week, but 2 weeks ago at Thornton. He's going to start on the pole for today's race here at Talladega Superspeedway. He's trying to pick up his first career win in the Truck Series, first of his career period, and he could really use the momentum heading into today's race if he could possibly win today's event. Alongside of him, a guy who's trying to get back to victory lane. He ended up winning at Las Vegas. Since then, he's been kind of floating around 11th through 20th in points. Really has not been able to move himself into the top 10 in points, and that is Charles Jackson. Right now, he currently comes in 15th in the standings. He would like to be able to solidify himself a spot in the top 10 after today's race with his second win of the season. Then you got the rookie points leader lined up in third place, Daniel Day, who did not have a good run last week at Coca-Cola Speedway. He finished way down in the running order, and so he's going to be looking for a little bit of redemption here today at Talladega. He comes in 7th in the standings, and alongside of him, another driver who's having a great season so far in the Truck Series, and that's Brian James. He comes into this race 40 points out of the points lead, 3rd in the standings. He is having an excellent season so far in the Napa Toyota Tundra. Rounding out the top 5 is going to be Charles Sanford. Now, Sanford was actually up inside the top 10 in points for a while. Now he has slipped out to 20th in points, but still has an opportunity today with a victory to maybe move himself back inside the top 10. And rounding out row number 3, the defending champion and 9th in points, Chris Dollarton. Now, Chris ended up winning the Daytona race, and we're here again at another restrictor-plate track. This could end up being a place that Chris Dollarton may try and use to be able to pick up his second win of the season. James McLeod's actually going to roll off from position number 10. He comes in today with a 35-point advantage over his friend Dylan Poteet. As I said, it's 40 points then back to Brian James, 41 points back to Dylan Young, and then a total of 54 points. Nope, I'm wrong again. 58 points back to 5th in the standings, Dougie Shears. The rest of the top 10 in the standings, we'll be keeping an eye on during the course of the day, is Trent Dunham. He comes in 6th in standings. Daniel Day, of course, 7th. Alex Tanker is now 8th in the points. Chris Dollarton, 9th in points, as I said. And last week's winner, who ended up gambling on fuel mileage at Coca-Cola to pick up his first career win of his NNSCRA career and the first of his Truck Series career, Andy Timmons, who now moved himself up also to 2nd in rookie standings. He is now the final driver inside the top 10 in today's race. Getting ready to get these trucks underway. They'll complete a couple pace laps. While they do that, we will show you the starting lineup. 19 laps of racing await us. Seems like a very short race, but this is a pretty big racetrack, and it's going to be a lot of exciting racing. Here's your starting grid for today's Fred Super Dollar 250 powered by Coca-Cola. Ready to go into the green. Pace truck peels off. Now this is Talladega. Remember, it's not Daytona. When we're at Daytona, normally the start-finish line's right in the middle of the tri-oval. That extra 100 feet down almost to the entrance of turn number 1 where the start-finish line is could be the difference between who's going to leave today as the winner and who's going to finish in the runner-up position. Here we go, though. Green flag is out. We are underway here at Talladega. There you see the flagman waving the green flag for the field. And take a look at this nice little gopher cam we have heading here into turn number 1. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead already. Brian James, I'm not exactly sure how he got that run on the high side. He's paying for it now, but he was able to get up alongside of Charles Jackson and Tyson Broad, if for a split second. Whoa, car sliding around there. Kevin White getting moved up to the high side by William Duncan, as Sean Galligan made a hole between, or not between, but underneath his teammate from Penske Racing in the 22. Tyson Broad doing a good job. This is what you got to do if you're the leader, is hold the bottom line. That's the line that's going to move here today. You got to block everybody that tries to come to your inside. If you aren't able to do it, you're going to get moved to the middle groove, which moves to the back really slowly, or you'll get moved to the high side, which does move to the back rather quickly. So they're going to go 4 wide for the lead. Here comes the 50. And I'm sorry I said Kevin White in the 43. That's actually Kyle Thomas. I'm still trying to get these new drivers' names all situated in my mind. This is Kevin White in the 50, now moving to the lead, but for how long? Austin LaPlante on the inside, Jacob Lawler in there, and here comes Adam Chambers as Lawler and LaPlante made contact and somehow kept it together. Chambers now goes to the lead, help from Eric Burton. There's Emilio Navarrete under there, and here comes Angel Navarro, who ended up having a nice top 5 run last week, I believe. Or not top 5, but top 10. I think he ended up finishing top 10. I may be wrong, but I think he finished top 10 at Coca-Cola. Comes Emilio Navarrete down to the bottom of the racetrack. Navarrete currently 17th in points. Emilio is, I think on one occasion, actually been close to winning an event. I'm trying to remember back to where that was. Seems like I want to say something like Las Vegas. Oh, James McLeod, the points leader, got spun in the back. James Silverfox has spun around too. That should bring out a caution. And they're wrecking again. I just saw Dylan Young around. Dylan Pote, Jackson, Sean Galligan, Aaron was you. Oh, Galligan gets flipped up into the air after contact from James Silverfox. Both the Dylans are back there. There's Dollarton involved. Jackson, Tyson Broad, Danny Wells, Kyle Thomas heading for pit road. There's Silverfox. I think Nick Bellardo may have gotten a piece of it, and I do know for certain. Oh, they're still wrecking. Oh, my goodness. Daniel Day, Austin LaPlante, Charles Sanford. Look out. Oh, they keep running into him. Dougie Shears, Stephen Pollard III, Charles Sanford. Joshua Michaels is flipping. DeMarco, Max Russell. Will the wrecking ever stop? Can these... Oh, my goodness. Zach Rogers has got damage now. He's smoking on the apron. Well, this thing started out with a couple of cars spinning on the back straightaway, and then by the time we got to turn 3 and then entering turn 1, things have escalated to a whole new level. There's Cody Lamas. I don't know if he's got damage or not. Stephen Pollard III has. And that is your points leader right there, James McLeod. And I'm looking here at the standings, and from what I've named off right there, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 9th in points, as well as 7th in points, all involved in incidents here. One of them bringing out the caution. Another one happened immediately after, heading into turn number 3. And then the other one, John Radigan, he was involved as well. And then the other one, under the cool-down lap, after the caution flag had waved, heading into turn number 1. Take a look here as I just quickly scan through here. These are the drivers that actually made it through. And there are some drivers coming down pit road here. Chambers is coming down, Rogers, Pollard, Nick Bellardo, Tyson Broad, Danny Wells, Cody Lamas, Charles Jackson, William Duncan. We got to look back at a replay of what happened. It looks like all the leaders who were not involved have stayed out. Let's go back to a replay. Utilizing our helicopter view to see what happened, spinning out the two James McLeod and James Silverfox. They were 4 wide here. Max Russell, James Silverfox, Nick Bellardo, and James McLeod on the high side. There may be some contact in the middle there between the 3 and the 4 of Nick Bellardo and James Silverfox. That's exactly what happened. They go up, clip the left rear of the Bass Pro Stop Chevy. He's going to spin sideways. Oh, wow. James Silverfox sliding right down into John Radigan. That's why Radigan was on pit road. And, oh, wow, narrow miss there by Aaron Williams Jr. But as these guys spun, we now got to take a look at an incident that took place just up ahead of them in turn number 3. and hopefully I've chosen the best camera angle to be able to give us an idea of what exactly happened here. Oh, there was contact between Charles Jackson and Dylan Young. They went down to Danny Wells, and then Danny went down and clipped Poteet. And then they all just come up here, and everybody that's caught in that high line are going to have absolutely nowhere to go. Galligan's caught back there, Tyson Broad, William Duncan's back there, Kyle Thomas, Chris Dalton's held up back there. I think he ran to the back of the 22. And then this is when things get really scary. Oh man, Nick Bellardo gets clipped by William Duncan. This is when things get scary because some drivers were making their way through this wreck that were involved in that spin out down the back straightaway. Aaron Williams Jr. there, he runs in the back of Jackson, and watch the hit that James Silverfox gives to Galligan. Galligan's got to be at least 20 feet in the air. Kind of got flipped up into the air like a seal with a circus ball or something. And up and into the air and over, and he actually does land on all four wheels, but just think of the impact there between the 4 and the 2. Absolutely incredible. And I don't know if James McLeod comes into this or not. Let's fast forward a little bit. Oh, yes, he did. Who did he hit? Oh, wow, as if one hit wasn't enough. I think he's going to get Sean Galligan. Galligan getting targeted by the James. Right there. Oh, wow, and then Galligan's car immediately teleports to pit road. We saw that kind of happen in the, I think it was the Mobile Cup Series race, where Dylan Poteet came up, nailed Dougie Shears, and immediately after Dougie Shears teleported to pit road. But there is your points leader, James McLeod. Now, the good news for him is that Dylan Poteet and Dylan Young, two drivers who were trying to run him down for the points lead, they were involved in this as well. So the pressure may fall on Brian James to try and get the points lead from James, but nonetheless, let's head and look and see what happened over in turn number 1 now. Another big wreck taking place. And I'm really not sure what happened here. This was after the caution came out. Oh, it looks like Joshua Michaels kind of turns left into Sanford. Sanford then is forced into Daniel Day. They're on the apron as they continue to make contact. Right there you see where the wheels start to spin. They have no control over the cars after that. They come back up the racetrack, up into Adam Chambers. Angel Navarro got a piece of it. There's Joshua Michaels and Austin LaPlante all involved right there. And then, as these cars come down the racetrack, this is where this same old thing happens here at Talladega. Driver's going to come into view and not be able to woe up. Dougie Shears nails LaPlante. Dunn LaPrade nails Charles Sanford. Zach Rogers, Max Russell, DeMarco, Radigan. They're all going to come into this. Cody Lamas is going to get a piece of it right there. He hits the John Radigan machine. And as if we didn't have a parking lot over in turn 3, we've got one over in turn 1 as well. And there is one guy going around on the high side there who was very, very lucky. And that's Brian James. He's definitely going to be a guy we're going to be keeping our sights set on during the rest of this race because he is possibly the only guy who can catch James McLeod for the points lead now. As I do believe he's the only driver inside the top 10 in points, or inside the top 5 in points, to be more specific, who is not involved in any of these incidents here. McLeod, Poteet, Young, and Shears all did get pieces of one of those incidents. Let's head back to Green Flag Racing now as we are working our first caution. The big one has struck, but in 3 separate parts here at Talladega. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Talladega Superspeedway. It'll be on lap 8 of 19. That should give us a total of, I believe, 11 laps to go. And wait for the confirmation on that, and I am incorrect. It's actually going to give us 12 laps to go. So we're getting ready to go back to green. Emilio Navarrete is out in front. A few drivers lining up at least 1 lap down on that inside line. They are Dylan Poteet, John Radigan, and Daniel Day. Drivers out after these incidents that have taken place are as follows. Joshua Michaels, Charles Sanford, Austin LaPlante, Dunn LaPrade, Dougie Shears, 5th in points. He'll retire in 31st. Zach Rogers, Max Russell are out. Alex DeMarco, Stephen Pollard III, Sean Gallagher, Dylan Young, who came in 4th in points. He's out in 37th. Then you got Kyle Thomas, 9th in points, and defending champ Chris Dalton. He'll retire in 39th. The points leader, James McLeod's going to finish officially in the 40th position. Behind him in 41st and 42nd are Aaron Williams Jr. and James Silverfox. Here's the way they run. Emilio Navarrete is the leader. Dawson Wise is now to 2nd. 3rd place is going to be Noah Hart. 4th place is Pichu London. 5th is Jacob Lawler. 6th, Andy Timmons. He's now moved up there, looking for his 2nd win in a row. Prunes Littlejohn 7th. 8th is Trent Dunham. 9th, Alex Tanker. And Sean Henley runs in 10th. 11th is Eric Burton. 12th, Angel Navarro. 13th, Lyndon Wright. 14th place will be Kevin White. Then you've got Bob Jones in 15th. The rest of the top 20 are Brian James, Adam Chambers, Nick Bellardo, William Duncan, and Tyson Broad. Then it's 21st, Cody Lamas. 22nd, Charles Jackson. And 23rd, Danny Wells. As the pace truck peels off, here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing as the green flag is out now, and we are back underway. So, with what I just named off there, 23 cars are still on the lead lap, and a few of them you can see back here are damaged and not able to get up to speed. Danny Wells, Cody Lamas, Charles Jackson not able to keep close tabs with the rest of the field. Dylan Poteet, John Radigan, Daniel Day did not prove much of a battle for Emilio Navarrete as far as trying to get their laps back. Here comes Dawson Wise, who may be a challenge. He does need some drafting help, though, and here comes in the form of fellow rookie Noah Hart as well as P.G. London. I don't know that maybe Dylan Poteet and Daniel Day are up to speed. They are actually keeping themselves in touch with the leaders here on this lead pack, so maybe, just maybe, they are actually have been repaired and are up to full song. Pichu London now going to the inside line. Pichu London ended up having a really good run 2 weeks ago at Thornton, and he's trying to ride that momentum. London's been able to move himself all the way up to 29th in points after he was down somewhere around 38th, 40th, somewhere like that in the standings. Here comes Prudence Littlejohn now to the bottom. Now, Prudence Littlejohn is another driver who's kind of done what Charles Jackson has done in recent weeks. After picking up the win at Phoenix, Prudence Littlejohn has kind of been hanging around inside the top 20 in points, currently 18th in the standings. And here comes Kevin White to the inside. And how about Sean Henley? Sean Henley having a really good run right now in the 88. And with that bad luck, we've seen a few drivers inside the top 10 have. Henley could be poised to move inside the top 10 in points as he comes in 13th in the standings. You think about what a difference a year can make, a season can make. I can remember back last season in season 5, Barney Ward drove that 88 for Hendrick Motorsports, and from the start of the season to the end of the season, he had a difficult time even moving himself inside the top 30 in the standings. He really had a dismal season, run after run, DNF after DNF. And look at how different it is now with Sean Henley driving that car this season. And here we go, Trent Dunham, contact with Angel Navarro, and Jacob Lawler look at the inside now. And how about Andy Timmons? Tell you what, sometimes when you can win that first race, it can just give you momentum like you wouldn't believe. And then before you know it, you're up there racing at the front every single week. And Andy Timmons kind of utilizing that as he now moves to the front, looking for his second win in a row in the Truck Series. If he could do that, there's going to be a lot of top stories running around about whether or not he's going to try and pull off what Jason McLeod's been able to pull off already this season, and that's win back-to-back-to-back races. Eric Burton now looking down to the bottom. There was another driver back there. Whoa, Noah Hart. Oh, Noah Hart's pitting. Noah Hart is coming down pit road. Now, remember, these guys did not come down pit road under that caution flag. Only a handful of them did. And they were drivers that were damaged, and when they were involved in that incident, or those numerous incidents that took place back around, I think it was lap number 5 or so, Lyndon Wright now goes to the lead, so Noah Hart is the first of the drivers to pit, and that was not exactly, I don't think, good strategy on the part of Noah Hart, with the fact that he was the only guy that came down pit road. When you're at a restrictor-plate track and you're pitting in green flag pit stops, you want to come down with a whole pack of cars, so when you get back on the racetrack, you're able to produce enough speed to keep yourselves ahead of the leaders, provided that you're not already the leader, and stay on the lead lap. How about that 29 of Alex Tanker? Currently running up in the second position right now. 8th in the standings. Trying to make his second straight Oreo Truck Series chase for the championship. Looks like Charles Jackson came down pit road. He's now returning to the racetrack. Here comes Henley back to the bottom now. And how about Trent Dunham back there too? We talked about Tanker. We talked about Henley. Trent Dunham, he is 6th in points. And Trent Dunham really can stand to gain a lot today because Dougie Shears, Dylan Young, and Dylan Poteet, who were all within striking distance of that one truck, If he can leave with a good finish today, you could see Trent Dunham as high up as second in the point standings when we leave here today. And pit stops are going to happen now. The leaders are coming down pit road. Here comes Lyndon Wright, Sean Henley, Dunham, Navarro, Brian James, and more. Nick Pollardo, Bob Jones, Eric Burton, Lawler, last week's winner Timmons, Dawson Wise, Broad, Pete U. London, and I believe that was William Duncan. Yes, it was. All coming down pit road. That cycles the lead over. Well, it's not Noah Hart, it's Kevin White, who's actually in a battle right now with Emilio Navarrete for that top position. They're going to go down to the bottom to pass the car of Noah Hart, who is on the tail end of the lead lap. Noah Hart's got to hope these guys will be pitting this time, or else he's going to fall a lap down to the leaders. And looks like he's going to get his wish. Here comes all the rest of the drivers who didn't pit last time around. Kevin White, Emilio Navarrete, Alex Tanker, Prudence Littlejohn, Daniel Day coming down pit road, even though he is a lap car. But still, he wants to keep in contact with these lead lap cars and get into a pack. So let's watch Kevin White, see what the strategy is going to be here. You know, also with the fact of Andy Timmons winning last week in a fuel strategy thing, that really opens the door up as well for a lot of other rookies to try and roll the dice and take risks to maybe pick up their first wins of the season in the Truck Series. Looked like a long gas and go for Kevin White. Looks like Emilio Navarrete's going to come out right with him, so maybe the same strategy for the 78. Very interesting. No tires being taken, so apparently tire wear is not an issue here at Talladega, at least in this race. No tires taken on board that 50 truck. Just packing it full of fuel, making sure he's going to be good to go to the end, which is going to be about 4.5 laps now. They got to get out here. Here comes Lyndon Wright, Sean Henley, Brian James. They're trying to run down these guys, and it looks like these guys are going to stay out ahead of the leaders, but Emilio Navarrete was able to actually get enough speed there, getting up to speed down the back straightaway to take the lead away from Kevin White. So Emilio Navarrete is now the leader. And we'll wait till they come around here to the stripe before we cycle through and show you the running order after green flag pit stops. You can see the leaders or that second pack rather, catching up to the leader. That's the old cliche, you need to have drafting partners. And contact between Kevin White and Emilio Navarrete as Kevin's going to unceremoniously move the Emilio Navarrete machine out of the way. Oh, Angel Navarro is missing a hood. I don't know what happened to him. Alright, let's give you a way that they're running right now. Kevin White is the leader. Brian James second. Third, Emilio Navarrete. Lyndon Wright fourth. Fifth place is Sean Henley, and Alex Tanker is in sixth. Seventh place right now is Prudence Littlejohn. Eighth, Trent Dunham. Ninth is Andy Timmons. 10th place is going to be Nick Bellardo. And 11th place is Dawson Wise. 12th is Eric Burton. 13th, Noah Hart. Jacob Lawler now moves back to 14th. 15th is Pete U. London. 16th is Bob Jones. 17th, William Duncan. 18th, Tyson Broad. 19th place is going to be Adam Chambers. 20th place is Charles Jackson. Danny Wells is in 21st. Cody Lamas is in 22nd. That's the last car on the lead lap. First car one lap down we saw there was 23rd. And I believe that is possibly Daniel Day. Yes, it is. Daniel Day is 23rd. 24th place is Angel Navarro. Dylan Poteet, 25th. John Radigan is in 26th. And that's it for the cars that are even on the racetrack. These guys, they're starting to catch up with some lap traffic here. I believe the next one up ahead is Cody Lamas in the 39 that they're going to have to contend with, who is on the tail end of the lead lap. And look out, here they come. And they got Danny Wells just up ahead too. No sooner do they have to deal with one lap car, but they have to deal with another. And look out. Henley. Henley using his teammate as a blocker, and Henley's going to go to the front. You got to think that was planned. Danny Wells holding up Kevin White, allowing his teammate Sean Henley to go to the lead with a little bit less than 2 more laps to go. So now it's Henley, Alex Tanker, Prudence Littlejohn, Trent Dunham, Kevin White, Emilio Navarrete, Lyndon Wright, and Andy Timmons. Those are the drivers. Look like they're going to finish out this race for the win, as here comes Tanker. He'll take the lead. He's got some help now from Prudence Littlejohn. And they're coming down to receive the white flag. The drivers you see in your screen, they're the drivers who are going to battle it out for the win. Question is, which one of them will it be? White flag in the air, 1 to go. Tanker looking for his first Truck Series victory. He went last season in the chase as a driver that did not hold a victory. Behind him, Emilio Navarrete trying to pick up his first win of the season. Same for Dunham, same for Lyndon Wright, same for Henley, same for Kevin White. For rookies Andy Timmons and Prudence Littlejohn, they're looking for their second wins of the season. Here comes Navarrete, down to the bottom. He's going to look for the lead off of Alex Tanker. Tanker's going to have the drafting help, though, on the high side. But wait a minute, Lyndon Wright's also offering some drafting help. Coming out of turn 4 for the final time, Prudence Littlejohn gets loose, nearly gets into Andy Timmons. Navarete's got the inside advantage. Lyndon Wright trying to battle, though. Here comes Tanker, trying to get the run on the high side. It's going to be a dead even heat. 2 black cars, which one will win? Emilio Navarrete by a splitter. Emilio Navarrete by a splitter. Alex Tanker trying to get the run on the high side. Had the drafting help. It's not going to work, though. He'll finish runner-up today. Emilio Navarrete captures his first Truck Series win of the season, winning the Fred Super Dollar 250, powered by Coca-Cola. What an unbelievable finish right there, and as I said, it came down really to that extra few hundred feet. If we had that race end at the middle of the tri-oval, I'm not sure if Emilio Navarrete would have been quite ahead of the 29 of Alex Tanker. May have been that little extra distance that may have helped Emilio Navarrete get the 29 of Alex Tanker at the line. What an exciting finish right there. Congratulations to Emilio Navarrete. 17th in points, and he gets his first win of the season there for the furniture. I just hit the record button accidentally instead of the button that would bring up a scoreboard. I'm sorry about that. Let's take a look at our official finishing results here. Our official top 10. Navarrete wins by 1/100th over Alex Tanker. And take a look at this. Only 6 100ths over Lyndon Wright and 8 100ths over Prudence Littlejohn. So that was actually close between the whole front pack right there. But a great run there for Tanker. He came in 8th in points. This will help move him up in the standings and keep him inside the top 10. Lyndon Wright, very good run for him. I think if I remember correctly, he finished well at the Daytona race too. So apparently restrictor-plate tracks are very, very good to that 77. Prudence Littlejohn going to move herself up closer to getting back inside the top 10. She's 4th. Andy Timmons, great follow-up finish after his win last week. This will keep him in the top 10. A nice top 5 finish in 5th. Trent Dunham, I think we could possibly see him up as high as 2nd in the point standings after today's race because of that finish of 6th place. 7th place is going to be Sean Henley. Very good run for him. We may see him inside the top 10 in points. 8th place is going to be Kevin White. I believe he is... Oh, no, he's not the highest finishing rookie. He's 2nd highest finish... Or, no. He's 4th highest finishing rookie. But still, a great run for Kevin White in only his 3rd career start. So he gets 8th place. Brian James. I don't think he quite was able to run down James McLeod for the points lead, but still a very solid finish for the guy who came in 3rd in points. He finishes 9th. And Jacob Lawler going to finish today in the 10th position. As I look here, James McLeod finished in 40th. Brian James finished in 9th. That's 31 points he made up. I think he's going to be only 4 points back behind James McLeod in the standings. But James McLeod, with what I believe may be his first DNF of the season, maybe his 2nd, but he's going to end up losing a huge points lead that he came in today with. James McLeod next week could be very much in jeopardy of losing the points lead to Brian James, Trent Dunham, or Alex Tanker, who I'm sure are all going to move up inside the top 5 in the point standings. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the crew today. Helps me out a lot. Here comes your official finishing results, overall point standings, and rookie point standings heading to next week's race, which will be coming from Riki Raceway. We got Mobile and Snickers Cup Series action coming your way too here with the running of the Aaron's 312 and the Aaron's 499. Hope you'll tune in for those races, as well as you've been watching production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.